Okay, welcome back again, guys. So in the previous lesson, we basically created a program that would get the amount of or the number of installments you would have to make given a particular balance. So that was a pretty simple program, but what I want to do right now is I just want us to dive into deep waters, if I could call it that, because we've already built the foundational knowledge from that previous video, and now I just want to sort of take a leap forward into us building sort of like an ATM application, if you can call it. So we can call it ATM application, right? And so what our ATM application does is the ATM application, it asks for the user PIN, right? So when you go to a normal ATM and you insert your card, it's going to ask you for your PIN number. Now, excuse me, uh, so there obviously has to be some authentication there, because if your PIN number is less than 5, then that's not a real PIN number. Or if your PIN number is greater than 5, I know a lot of ATM applications do not allow you to enter in a PIN number greater than 5, but there is some form of authentication process that has to happen when you are sort of giving the user PIN. So that's what our application is also going to have to do. The second feature is that we are obviously going to have to create some form of a user interface or a menu item where the user is going to have to choose if they want to deposit money, right? If they want to make a deposit, if they want to withdraw a certain amount of money, if they want to view their balance, basically to view the balance that they have. And then at the end of it all, we just want to give them the option to exit the program, right? So that's what our program essentially does. It's straightforward and simple, but a lot of things are going to be learned within this one particular application or this one program. So we're going to learn how to ask for the user input and perform some form of authentication process. And then we're also going to learn how to create functions that will allow the user to deposit money, to withdraw money, as well as to view their balance. And then finally, they can be able to exit the program. So the thing that you need to keep in mind with the authentication process when you're trying to check for the correct information is that if the user does not give you the correct information, then the program should not continue to run. So if you're asking the user for a PIN number, usually a PIN number, it's 5 digits. So if you're asking the user for a PIN number and they give you 4 digits, in as much as it might throw an error message, but that should not just be all. It should also abort the entire program. It should terminate the program. You should not be able to continue or persist on with doing any further calculations or any further processing. So that's what we also need to keep in mind when we are asking for the user PIN number. So let's basically just look at our entire program here. So I have included, hash include IO manip, that's a header file. And the header file essentially allows us to use the set precision function. The set precision function, it sort of allows you to only get or to round off numbers to 2 decimal places. So whatever value that you get, you are able to round it off to 2 decimal places. So as you can see here, I've declared my function. I have a double withdraw function, a double deposit function, and a void check balance. The reason why I did not want to do this program with you or just, type it out, whilst you guys are viewing, it's because it would have taken some time, right? And I know you guys do not really want to watch a lengthy video, right? Because you'll have already been running away from these videos and stuff. So it came to me for the quick solution. So I'm going to give you guys a quick solution. So that's why. But I'm going to walk you through the whole program. You're going to get the gist of how to do certain things, and hopefully you are then going to gain a lot of knowledge, and then you can create your own applications if that's what you want to do. So we got our withdraw function, our deposit function, and then our check balance function, and then we basically have the double here, right? So we have the double here, nothing too crazy. And then we have our main function. So and then we basically have our main function. But let's just go to the withdraw function, right? Let's just go down to the processing of the withdraw function. So there we go, withdraw. So we've declared a variable, right, called withdraw amount. So you say std, enter the withdraw amount, okay? So std cn, and then you then pass in the withdraw amount. So we then just return the withdraw amount. Nothing too crazy here again. And then we go below that, we also look at the deposit. So double deposit amount, you created a variable called deposit amount. And so we are just going to ask the user to enter in the deposit amount, and then we're going to see in the deposit amount, and then we're just going to return the deposit amount. Nothing too crazy there as well. So we also have a void function. We have check balance, and so double balance. So the double balance here, we are obviously going to be passing it in by value. It's not going to be by reference, because we are going to be actually basically displaying the balance once someone has either deposited money or they've withdrawn money. So we are passing it by value because this balance is going to be the value, right? It's not going to be a reference. You're not going to be passing it in as an argument or whatever. So it's just a value, right? So we then have stdc out, rands, set precision. So this is how you use a set precision 2. So the 2 stands for 2 decimal places, as I've just explained earlier on. And then we have std fixed, right? So the fixed allows you to then fix your decimals to only 2 decimal places. So this is the formula, not the formula, but more so the template on how to actually go about getting 2 decimal places from a particular value. So that's what this void function does, is that it just basically gets the balance, and then it converts the balance into 2 decimal places. Okay, so then we go into our main function, and then our main function, we have our declarations, double balance, integer options, and then we have string pin, right? The reason why I made a pin number a string, a lot of you guys might ask, isn't a pin number made up of integers? It's made up of integer values. But in programming, if you are not going to be doing any form of manipulation, if you are not going to be doing any form of calculation with those integer values, then you might as well just declare it as a string. If you have a phone number, you are not going to say just because a phone number contains integer values, we are then going to be writing it down or using the data type integer. No, you're not going to do that, because you are not going to be performing any form of calculations with a phone number. You're not going to be saying, listen, if the phone number has 10 digits, I want you to add these digits to some other person's digits to then create something. You're not going to do that, right? A phone number is a phone number. A PIN number is a PIN number. It is a string, right? That's it. It's just a string of values, right? So we then ask the user to enter in their PIN number. So then they enter in their PIN number. And then this is really the meatiness, right? This is where I want us to really just focus, because this is the authentication part. So we say if the pin dot length, right? This is more so of you using string manipulation. We say if the pin dot length, so we're getting the length of this pin, whatever the length of the pin is hopefully going to be 5, because that's what we want it to be. But whatever the length of the pin string is going to be, right? If that is not equals to 5, if that is not equals to 5, then it should throw this error message, invalid pin, and then it needs to abort. Abort is a built-in function that allows you to terminate, right? Terminate the program. It allows you to terminate the program. So everything else below from this else, everything else below, every single thing, it will not run. All of it will just be ignored by the program. The program will terminate, right? So the abort function, it's a built-in function that allows you to terminate the program. And so if that is not the case, then we will say welcome, right? And then we will basically ask the user to enter in their balance, and then the user will enter in their balance, or they'll kindly enter in their balance, and then we'll say choose the following options. And so this is our menu part. So choose the following options: to deposit an amount, press 1; to withdraw an amount, press 2; to check the balance, press 3; to exit the program, press 4. And so then we have STDC and options. So now we're going to be getting in the user input. What I forgot to mention is that all of this is under a do while loop. What is the condition with the do while loop? Well, we're saying that whilst options is not equals to 4. What is 4? 4 is this guy. 4 is this guy, right? 4 is this. Basically, when you have wanted to exit the program. So we don't want it to continue. We just want it to stop there. So once the person says that they want to exit the program, well, that's it. It's done. We should not, continue to show them extra stuff. They don't need to see that at all. So that's it. So yeah, whilst options is not equals to 4, right? So this is options, right? And so what I did is that I just created a switch statement. So options. So for example, if the user enters in number one, which is to deposit an amount, we're basically saying balance is equals to balance plus the deposit. And then we're going to have case 2. So if now the user enters in 2, which is to withdraw an amount, we're now saying balance is equals to balance minus withdraw, right? So when I say withdraw, I am referring to the withdraw function. There is the withdraw function, right? So the withdraw function, I want you to please listen to what I am saying, right? To make things easier for you with the functions. The withdraw function, if there is a function that you've created that has a return keyword, I want you to not forget everything that is within the function or the body of the function, but I want you to think of the function as the return value. So the return value here is going to be the withdrawal amount. Whatever the user is going to enter in here, right? We're going to get the user input, and then it's going to return something, right? So I want you, whenever you see the withdraw function, to think of the withdrawal amount. It is an amount. It is a number. Do not think of it as, oh my gosh, it's a function. Oh my gosh. No, it's just a number. It's just returning a value. We are telling the computer, listen, when you think of this withdrawal function, immediately you need to think of a value, because the return type is a double, and the double is the withdrawal amount. So that's what it is. That's what it is basically. So we balance is equals to balance minus whatever the withdrawal amount was, or balance is equals to balance plus the deposit amount. And then for the third part, we're now saying check balance. So we are returning balance, right? So we're passing in the balance as our argument. And then that's basically it. And so then we have the fourth one. The fourth one is essentially when we're exiting the program. So let's just run the program. Enter your PIN number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Welcome. Enter your balance. Let's just say, because I'm obviously not a brokey, let's just say 65,000, right? 65,000, big boy. Choose the following options. I'm a big G, so I only deposit, I don't withdraw money. So let's just say that I robbed a bank, and so now I just withdrawn 500,000 into my account. So 500,000 into my account. So the next day I walk into the bank, I want to see if they actually have my amount. And so the bank tells me, listen, sir, in order for you to see your amount, you also need to deposit 10 bucks. And so then I say, okay, fine, I'm gonna withdraw 10 bucks. And so now I want to see my balance. So my balance is 565,010 rand. But I get caught, and now they're taking me to jail, and so now I basically do not have my money. And so now I'm trying to withdraw an amount. So now let's just say 2. What am I trying to withdraw? I'm trying to withdraw 100,000. What am I going to use 100,000 for? I'm obviously going to use the 100,000 to buy cigarettes, because cigarettes is the currency in jail, right? So cigarettes. And so now I'm trying to check my balance, and my balance is now equals to 465,000. But that's not it. So I supposedly had a girlfriend, and my girlfriend knew my PIN, which is why you should not show people your PIN number. She knows my PIN. I'm stuck in jail. She takes my card and she goes there and she buys something worth 300,000. Right. So boom. Sorry. So I just want to withdraw an amount. 300,000. Boom. She took out 300,000. Let me just check my balance real quickly. So I'll wake up the next morning. I'm trying to check my balance, and boom, my balance is now sitting at 165,000, 10 grand. What the hell can I do? I'm in jail. There is nothing that I can possibly do. So I then get mad, and now boom, I want to terminate the program. So you have exited the program. But what actually happens? What actually happens, right? If I was smart with my money, and now my girlfriend does not know my PIN number, and then she tries a whole bunch of numbers. Let's just say that she's not very smart, so she doesn't even know what the length of a PIN number is. She thinks it's just more like a phone number. So then she goes and says, I know this guy's phone number. Let's just say zero whatever blah 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 for, yeah, let's just say that. And then boom, invalid PIN. Now she doesn't know what the hell to do. And boom, the program is terminated. Nothing else happened, right? So that's our program in a nutshell.